Hello. Welcome. This is Chewy, aka Lucas. Today is not going to be about painting. Today I will be a lot talking into the camera because there is a very, very important topic I would like to address. Today I want to talk with you about hobby motivation or motivation in general. Why do I want to do this? So I've been in contact with some artists from time to time. I look at their stuff and I go like, wow, this is absolutely incredible. I drop them a line, go like, hey, insane stuff. I'm very inspired. I love it. And more often than you might think, I get something like, oh wow, this is super nice of you. I'm having a bad time at the moment, or I'm having like a hobby down, or I'm not feeling it right now. I lost my mojo, something like that. And every time I read it, I'm very astonished to hear about it because obviously these painters are creating lovely results and it's a joy to look at. And at the same time, it's something I have never experienced. Now you might think, why should you talk about it then? Well, probably because I want to help others. It kind of hurts me when I hear others are struggling. So I would like to share what I do, and hopefully, or maybe it helps you, and even if it just helps one person, I think it's worth it. So I would like to talk about how I approach things, how I like to think about things, and how I address the topic of motivation in general, and in particular hobby motivation. So let's jump into the topic. First of all, I would like to talk about motivation in general. So through the last couple of years during my career outside of miniature painting, I realized there are probably three major ingredients that define motivation. One is being intrinsic motivation that we probably all have because we came to this hobby by choice, hopefully. So we all enjoy painting minis or playing the game because we like it from the inside of our heart, right? Then there is the external motivation factor. So every kind of thing that we get from a competition, like a prize, some recognition online, social media has its ups and downs to that. But there's definitely also an external factor. And I think the third one is the most interesting, the goal. I think motivation always needs an orientation, a goal, something you work towards. And I think this is the most interesting part to talk about. What's the goal? Like what's the motivation behind painting miniatures? And for most people, if you ask them, they would probably say, become a better painter, right? And that's, I think, the most crucial part. How do you become a better painter? I see many people doing incremental steps like, oh, I need to become better at edge highlighting. Oh, I need to get more precise. Or I need to get more clean. And like the last 20% are taking 80% of the work. So you need to put in a lot of work to get like the final tip, the final touch. And that's why it takes very long, causing frustration. And what I like to do, which might help some of you, is experiment. Do something that I usually don't do. That's when we learn. Thinking outside of the box, doing something you haven't done before, and maybe, probably out of 10, you won't have a great time. But maybe by accident you find something that you really enjoy and you can stick to that. So that's how I like to do it, at least. I like to test things. I like to combine things I haven't been combining before. I like to change things. Try oils, try something that new that is coming up. Everyone's using sponges right now. Do stuff, even if your brain is telling me, oh, I'm not gonna like it. Do it, try it, do it anyway. There might be something in it. It's very easy to overthink. It's very easy to tell yourself, oh, I know I'm not going to like it. But sometimes you do it and then your brain is kind of starting to connect things. It's the same with sketching. No one has ever drawn the perfect sketch without any preparation or thoughts behind it, but you need to start. Our brain is really good at seeing errors. So when you start, and sometimes you just do the next sketch next to it, look at the old one, you kind of copy what you like and you improve the areas that you don't like, but you have to start. Like you have to get going, you have to do something, and it's exactly the same with miniature painting. It's very easy to talk ourselves into a swirl of, oh, it's not working, oh, I don't have the mojo at the moment. Just do something else. Like there's no pressure. This is supposed to be fun. It's trying new things, combining things. And that leads me to my last point, because the other day someone asked me in a live stream, where do you get your inspiration from? And it's kind of connected to the same topic. I said inspiration isn't something where you put like a 30 minutes blocker in your calendar and name it inspiration. Inspiration is a constant thing. Go through the world with open eyes. Look at things and try to think of, how could I use this for my current project? Are the colors interesting? Where's the light coming from? Is there a drop shadow? Why is there a reflection? So it's like a constant information flow into your brain, and your brain does beautiful things. It starts to look at things differently. It's a much nicer way of going through the world, having open eyes, being constantly enthusiastic about little things. I can only encourage you to start with little steps, start with slow steps, be easy on yourself, and don't be too hard. It can be very, very beautiful trying to let things in, and if you feel like you're stuck, it's probably a good idea to do something completely different and try something that you usually don't do. Get out of your comfort zone and your brain will do the rest. Don't forget, you are your own hardest judge. So always when you look at your stuff and you go like, this is horrible, this is bad, it's better than you think it is. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but I'm pretty sure your paint stuff is going to be something someone else is looking at and going like, wow, this is really good. So keep that in mind. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Enjoy the process. Enjoying painting makes you come back, and coming back makes you improve over time. So try to not be too harsh on yourself. I'm pretty sure you're doing an amazing job. Also, something I would like to add, play to your strengths. So you probably have like a safe space where you feel very comfortable painting. For me, it's rough, fast paint jobs, sloppy, no nice transitions, but I really enjoy putting color onto the model, wet blending, doing it fast, turning it. And for someone else, it might be something completely different, but you probably know what is your strength, what do you feel comfortable painting, and then just take a step out into one direction, test something, and if you don't like it, you can always come back to your safe center space. So do like little steps in different directions, and maybe the cool thing about this is maybe you can improve your core, like expand it, or maybe even you find out that the IV metal style you've been painting all your life isn't really your thing or isn't really your style, and maybe by experimenting you find something completely different and you can like kind of rediscover yourself. And this is something that's really exciting and keeps pushing and keeps going, and there's always like the next little step, and oh, I would like to improve there. Oh, now that I'm doing this different technique, I could also combine it with this. So these kind of thoughts are like little steps to build on and keep you painting, and the keep going is the important part, and that's how we improve. So before I bore you to death, I decided to also include some footage as inspiration. So this is just going to be a bunch of stuff I did in order to help you or inspire you. So how about practicing OSL? When have you tried doing some candles or light situations, some cloth texture, or taking your favorite artist as a reference, or taking your favorite computer game or scene from a movie as a reference? Thinking of a lot of different color schemes for the same mini and then choosing your favorite. Doing vehicles or rough metal rust texture, You can also jump on and doing neon colors or underpainting like I did on these Tyranids, and there's also a separate video on it. Kit bashing. If you haven't tried it, this is absolutely wonderful. Painting dinosaurs or stuff you liked as a kid. Doing nostalgic pieces, models that you owned as a kid definitely hit a spot. Trying a new game system like Necromunda, for example. Doing large, cool models where the sculpt is just fantastic. Buying new minis can help with hobby demotivation. Or doing stuff like this tank from Dawn of War, my favorite computer game when it comes to 40k. I hope this served as some kind of inspiration. Now let's jump back. An interesting thing about combinations and thinking out of the box, there's this concept of a morphological box. It's a concept from the design world or creative working people, where they like to list all the, let's say, inputs. So for us, it could be colors, model, size, base, whatever. And you just randomly reconnect them. You randomly pair them, and you just go in a very mathematical order into it. So you just go like base brown, face yellow. I'm just thinking loud. This could be one example. So you're just combining stuff, and sometimes by accident something unexpected comes out of it, and you go like, oh, this is crazy. This can't work. And you do it. There's something into it. There's some music in it. And this kind of random morphological box kind of thinking does help if you're struggling with where do I start thinking outside of the box. So for example, I did this once for true metallics and a rusty look. The ingredients were the oil step, the true metallics, and so on. And I just reapplied them in a different order, and it always resulted in a different look. So I like to document these type of experiments and share them on Patreon. So that's one. The other thing I really like doing is, what's the opposite? What's the contrary? Usually interesting to our eyes is something we haven't seen before. Look at stuff and go, what haven't I seen? What's the exact opposite? So water is always blue, greenish. Do it yellow. Paint it yellow, and maybe your eye will see something like a sun reflection in it, and then the first try doesn't work out, but you kind of redefine it and make it into a sun reflection on the armor, something like that. And usually doing the opposite kind of works, especially since we're in a, I would say, artistic area. It's absolutely fine. We're painting fantasy figures in an artsy world. You can paint them in whichever way you want, and not painting the box art is beautiful. If you feel like you need a little bit more help or more inspiration, I do the documentations of my own experiments on Patreon, and here you can see an overview. I will post a link below. It's on the Notion page, so you don't have to go to Patreon directly, and the overview is a little bit better. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say today. And now I will be doing some painting and combining things I haven't been combining before. All right. I've been talking enough. That's it for today. Maybe it will help someone, maybe not. Maybe you do this anyway, but I thought I would record this because I think it's an important message, and I would like to help someone, and maybe it helps. So see you soon, and happy painting.